This episode of Variant is brought to you by Audible.com. Today on Variant, DC Comics kills Robin. Again. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than Jillian Michaels is an obnoxious human being. I'm your host, Arris Quinones. Now, a bunch of you guys have been asking me what I think about DC killing off Damian Wayne, who was the current Robin, along with what are my thoughts of the Death of the Family finale. So, today I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I feel on both topics. And, as the text on the screen said a few minutes ago, there will be spoilers in my thoughts, so you've been warned yet again. But now, on with the show. Before I get into the death of Robin, let me give you some backstory on the character first. The character was first technically mentioned in the Son of the Demon storyline, where Talia al Ghul becomes pregnant after one steamy night of passion and lovemaking, and only the way Batman can make that sweet, sweet love. Anyway, the events of how and why Talia got pregnant was later changed by comic writer great Grant Morrison in his storyline Batman and Son, which is one of my favorite Batman stories. As where in the Son of the Demon storyline, the yum yum gimme some between Batman and Talia was consensual. That was not the case in Grant Morrison's take in Batman and Son. He changed it to where Batman was drugged by Talia and essentially raped in order to have his child, because she considered Batman to be the perfect human, so he would be the perfect man to procreate with. But instead of giving birth naturally, she had Damian genetically perfected and grown in an artificial womb to ensure he would be the perfect human. Years later, Talia revealed to Batman that he has a son, at which point he took Damian under his wing. Long story short, Batman's son eventually became the new Robin. There's a lot more in between that, but you guys get the gist. Now that I explained a bit of the character's origin, let's move on to how I feel about Damian's death in Batman Incorporated issue 8. I'm actually really bummed they killed Damian Wayne, aka Robin. I've always liked the character ever since he was introduced to Bruce in Batman and Son, as I just mentioned. I really liked the depth and contrast he brought to Batman and the rest of the Bat family. I especially liked his relationship and how it was developing with Bruce and Nightwing. And it was something that was never really done before, seeing how Bruce/Batman dealt with an actual blood-related family member, and not just any blood-related family member, his offspring at that. Plus, Damian's character was just awesome. I loved how arrogant and ruthless he could be. It made for some really good stories, and even just the design of the character, like how he was small, but still looked super tough at the same time. And his costume, I loved it, especially how his cape had a hood attached to it. It made him look really cool and gave a dark tone to him. And I know a lot of people didn't like him at the beginning, but I've always been quite fond of him. So I guess my thoughts would be it's gonna make for some good conflict and emotional depth in the stories going forth, and I'm interested to see how this plays out, but I just wish they would have found another way to do that without killing off one of my favorite characters. Plus, they've already killed off Robins before, like Jason Todd, which they did bring back, and I'm really glad, and also the very short-lived Stephanie Brown. So I just wish they would stop killing off Robins, because now I already feel worried for the next Robin we get, or any other future Robins that there may be, because I'm gonna be like, is it just a matter of time before they kill this Robin too? Anyway, I just hope they bring Damian back eventually, which in the comic book world is very likely. So with that said, I have not lost hope, and he will most likely make his return sooner or later. And I'm calling it now, the new Robin is going to be Scott Snyder's new character, Harper Row. But it makes sense for two reasons. One, writer Scott Snyder's favorite Batman story of all time is The Dark Knight Returns, which features a girl Robin. So it makes sense that he would talk to DC to make the next Robin a girl once again. And two, because if you read Batman issue 18, it's very blatant that they're writing Harper to have a big part in the DC universe. So it would just make sense. But that is just my 2 cents. And I could be wrong. As for my thoughts on the finale of the Death of the Family story arc, I actually really liked it a lot. I mean, I know everyone was expecting there to be an actual death, but like writer Grant Morrison said, everyone was looking in the wrong place. Everyone was expecting someone to die in the Death of the Family story arc, but it happened over in Batman Incorporated issue 8, which is kind of funny when you think about it. The fact that the Joker actually didn't know everyone's identity made it really cool, and it made sense that he didn't, that it was all just a ruse, being that he is the Joker. But he did it to tear the trust between Batman and the family apart, as the Joker knew by telling the Bat family, I know who you are, I know all of your little secrets, that Batman would be forced to tell them about a secret he kept from them years ago about the Joker and Batman's first encounter, where at the end of their battle, Batman found Joker's calling card in the Batcave, alluding to the fact that Joker probably broke into the Batcave, and in turn, found out all their little secrets. There's a lot more to it, and I can go way more in depth, but for the sake of time, that's the gist of it. The story I thought was really well written, and the whole fact that it threw us for a loop as we were all expecting a physical death and not an emotional death was really clever, and I think it made for a better impact anyway. Plus, I didn't want Alfred to die or anyone in the Bat family to die. I really love the characters, hence me being bummed that Damian died in Batman Incorporated issue 8. Also, while I'm on the topic of Batman news, to keep up to date with all things Batman from comics, movies, video games, etc., check out batmannews.com. It's a site I visit frequently, being the big Batman fan I am, and a great way to keep up to date with all things Batman. They don't sponsor the show or anything, it's just a site that I love, so I'm sharing it with you guys. In conclusion though, my thoughts on Batman Incorporated issue 8 and the Death of the Family storyline are, I'm bummed that Robin aka Damian Wayne died, and I loved everything about the Death of the Family storyline. So, now you know, and no one's half the battle. I love reading, but I don't have time to read all the time, and that's why I love Audible. Audible.com is the leading provider in downloadable digital audiobooks and spoken word entertainment. Audible has over 100,000 titles to choose from to be downloaded to your iPod, MP3 player, and played back anywhere, anytime. Choose from books in every genre like science fiction, thriller, drama, comedy, business, history, and more. Go to audiblepodcast.com/variant to get a free audiobook download of your choice when you sign up today. They also just launched their new iPad app, so you can get all the audiobook goodness directly to your iPad. But again, go to audiblepodcast.com/variant for your free audiobook. Did you know Marvel once owned the rights to the word zombie? As unlikely as it sounds, Marvel trademarked the word zombie in comic book titles after publishing Tales of the Zombie in 1973. By the time the trademark was approved in 1975, this series was coming to an end. Years later, with the series no longer in existence, Marvel eventually lost the trademark in 1996. But it wasn't long before Marvel was once again trademarking the armies of the living dead, registering the words Marvel Zombies to protect its comic series of the same name. Marvel and DC also share the rights to the phrase superhero, meaning other companies can use the word superhero in their comics and even refer to their characters as superheroes, but they cannot put the phrase superhero in their title or the product name at all. Marvel also owns a trademark to two sounds that their characters make: the thwip, the sound of Spider-Man's web shooters, and the shink, the sound of Wolverine's claws. First up for Wednesday, March 20th, we have Superior Spider-Man issue 6. The new supervillain duo, Jester and Screwball, are punking heroes across the internet, and now they've set their sight on the Superior Spider-Man. Next, we have Saga issue 11. This is easily one of the best sci-fi action-adventure books out right now. Definitely worth your time. Here we have Justice League of America issue 2. The new Justice League of America team continues to form, but the question still remains, what do the heroes want in return for their membership? Plus, the Martian Manhunter's backup series begins, revealing more about the plans for this team. And finally, we have Justice League issue 18. Cyborg takes center stage as the events fall into place for next month's massive new story arc, Off the Grid. Before I bring today's episode to a close, I want to announce the winner of the Avengers vs. Justice League episode from 2 weeks ago. The votes are in, and you guys decided. And the winner is, by a landslide actually, the Justice League. It looks like the Justice League is the strongest team in comics. Oh, and before I go, don't forget, you guys still have till Sunday the 23rd to send in a picture of your best zombie drawing for a chance to win a signed copy by writer Sean Paul Bonjour of Image Comics miniseries Alpha Girl. You can send the picture to me at Twitter at twitter.com/Arris_Quinones or on our Variant Facebook page. I will announce the winner on next week's episode along with posting the winner's drawing on the show for all of you pretty little faces to see. But that is it. Now I'll see you guys next week when I talk about 5 comics that should be made into movies. How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? That's how I warm up before doing the show. No, how now, brown cow? Yes, it is. No. How? Ron Burgundy was onto something, is all I'm saying.